Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. CTV News reports that two individuals have been charged in connection with a $5.7 million cyber fraud that targeted Canada's pandemic-era wage subsidy program, known as the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy, CEWS. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, announced that their investigation revealed a coordinated scheme where the suspects allegedly exploited compromised represent-a-client credentials. They then submitted unauthorized CEWS applications on behalf of legitimate Canadian businesses, which were unaware their accounts had been accessed and used for the fraudulent claims. The accused, identified as 50-year-old Mohamed Etishamul Huk and 79-year-old Robert Arthur Otto, face multiple charges including fraud over $5,000, laundering proceeds of crime, possession of identity information for the purpose of committing an indictable offense, and possession of property obtained by crime. Both are scheduled to appear in a Brampton court next month. RCMP Inspi Guy Michel Keeley and CRA's Harry Gill emphasized the serious nature of such cyber-enabled fraud, highlighting its impact on public trust and the commitment to holding perpetrators accountable. Indigenous Services Minister Mandy Golmasty has announced that her government has filed a judicial review concerning an $8.5 billion child welfare agreement reached with First Nations in Ontario. As reported by the Canadian press, this agreement aimed to resolve a long-standing dispute dating back to 2007, when the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal ruled that the federal government had discriminated against First Nations children in its funding of on-reserve child welfare services. A recent tribunal decision in March stated that two specific First Nations would not be covered by this comprehensive deal. Minister Golmasty stated that the judicial review aims to understand the reasons for these exclusions and clarify the federal government's obligations towards them. Despite the legal challenge, the minister assured that the review will not impede the flow of funds to other First Nations in Ontario, with the agreement still set to take effect in May. First Nations leaders in Ontario expressed disappointment over the review, but found encouragement in the assurance that the agreement's implementation would not be delayed. A Canadian Union, Communications Workers of America Canada, CWA Canada, is calling on the federal government and the competition watchdog to thoroughly examine the proposed takeover of Electronic Arts Inc. by a consortium. The buyers include Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners, and private equity firm Silver Lake. The union expresses significant concerns about national security risks and potential job losses within Canada's $5.1 billion video game industry, especially given EA's long-standing presence in the country, including an office in Burnaby's PT. CWA Canada warns that the $55 billion deal, financed with substantial debt, could lead to stifled competition and cost-cutting measures, such as layoffs and a decline in product quality. They highlight that sensitive personal information of millions of Canadians could be exploited by a foreign state without proper regulation. Both Industry Minister Melanie Joly and the Competition Bureau have declined to comment on the ongoing matter, citing confidentiality provisions. This report is from City News Everywhere. CTV News reports that three men, Abhijit Singh, Kashvir Kaur, and Gurkaran Singh, have been convicted of first-degree murder in the brutal killing of Abbotsford seniors Arnold and Joanne de Jong. Almost 4 years to the day, the couple was found dead in their home on May 9, 2022. The judge delivered the guilty verdicts. The Joanne's grandparents in their 70s were tied up. Arnold's head was wrapped in duct tape and Joanne's throat was slashed. While the defense argued it was a robbery gone wrong, the Crown maintained the motive was financial pressure and greed. Abhijit Singh and Kaur had previously done work at the de Jong's home through Singh's exterior cleaning business. The courtroom was packed with the victim's family and friends, with 3 overflow rooms open to accommodate everyone for the emotional verdict. Live Nation Entertainment and its subsidiary Ticketmaster plan to appeal a recent U.S. federal jury verdict that found them liable for operating an anti-competitive monopoly and overcharging fans. According to CBC News, Dan Wall, Live Nation's executive vice president, asserts the company is not a monopoly, claiming they only control 20% of the primary ticketing market. He argues that the jury trial was easier to win for the states involved and denies any sweetheart deals with the White House. Wall attributes soaring ticket prices for major artists to increased demand, the complexity of tours, and artists' need to generate income due to declining music sales from streaming. He defends dynamic and platinum pricing, stating it benefits artists by keeping money from scalpers and allows for lower-priced seats to be subsidized. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, however, insists Live Nation controls over 80% of the market and calls the prior DOJ settlement corrupt, advocating for the merger to be undone. Canadian regulators are also closely monitoring the U.S. case, with the Consumer Council of Canada seeking similar action. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.